So today we're gonna look at this very important chapter, very interesting story of Hezekiah. I call it living in the midst of a pandemic. Um, Actually, this also kind of fall into our daily works reading. And I remember 2 weeks ago, Jack also mentioned about this. So that's today we're gonna dig deeper into life of King Hezekiah. We're going to probably look at 2 King 18 and 19, but I posted also like 2 Chronicle chapter 31 and 32. But first together, we're just going to read a few verses, right? So we know the setting. If you have the Bible, please turn to it, all right? We're going to look into a lot of scripture today and draw the insight from that. So together, we're going to read 2 King chapter 18. Alright? If you have that, let's read together. In the 3rd year of Hoshea, son of Elah, king of Israel, Hezekiah the son of Ahaz, king of Judah, began to reign. He was 25 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 29 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Abi, the daughter of Zechariah. And he did what was right in the eyes of the Lord, according to all that David his father had done. He trusted in the Lord, the God of Israel, so that there was none like him among all the kings of Judah after him, nor among those who were before him. For he held fast to the Lord. He did not depart from following him, but kept the commandments that the Lord commanded Moses. And the Lord was with him. Wherever he went out, he prospered. He rebelled against the king of Assyria and would not serve him. Let's pray. Father God, we come to you. We want to learn. We want to see what you have something for us to learn, especially help us to live in the midst of pandemic. We know this all prepare for us. And may we learn the insights from you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Probably, we all probably tired a little bit being stayed at home for probably a month, and yet it's even more to come. How can we live a month like this? We'll continue to be strong, or we just say, I'm really too tired. I couldn't handle it anymore. I think it's a very test moment for all of us. And especially for many of us that we even have a bigger burden that how our business is going to do, how we're going to make a living, how we're going to see the future. So today, we're going to see from how Hezekiah did, and hope that we can draw the wisdom and insight for how he lived through that challenge, and hope we also can learn to live through our challenge. So first, we're going to look at who is Hezekiah. You should know that kingdom of Israel after Solomon, they divided into 2 kingdoms. The north kingdom called Israel is 10 tribes, have 19 kings, no good kings. The south kingdom called Israel is 2 tribes, name is Judah, and its kingdom also called Judah. That's 20 kings in the south, only 8 are good kings. And Hezekiah, as just we read, is number 1. He's the best. So we're going to learn why he is the best. Hezekiah was a reformer. And interesting, his father is not a good king. His father wasn't good. And his father actually did a lot of bad things. But when he became king, he did a lot of good things. First, he started idol worship. His father introduced a lot of idol worship in the high place, but when he became a king, he destroyed all these idols in the high places and then stopped the idol worship. That's the first thing he did. He turned around, and then he restored the temple worship. According to other place, in the first year, first month, he reopened the house of God. So we can see when a country depart from God, they shut down the temple of God. They start worshiping Jehovah. And instead they worship the idols. So Hezekiah stopped the idol worship and he reopened the house of God, reopened the temple, and then fixed the temple, and then restart the worship. So that's the second major thing he did. That's recorded in Second Chronicles. Third, we celebrate Passover. We just celebrated Passover last week. The Jewish people celebrate. That is very important. Whenever we see when the Jewish people stop celebrating Passover, we know they already departed from the law of God. So Hezekiah, he celebrated Passover. You know, there's 11 chapters in the Old Testament talk about King Hezekiah. 11 chapters. That's recording the Second King, recorded in the Second Chronicles, and Book of Isaiah. So now you know how important he is. So this is King Hezekiah. He is good. But the good king doesn't prevent him to face the challenge. He also lived in a very challenging time. When the 6th year of his reign, North Kingdom, Israel, was destroyed by Assyria. This is a big thing. How can God's people get wiped out by a pagan country? And so after that, many refugees came down from Samaria to Jerusalem. So he knows what is coming because the north is gone and the Assyrians is coming down to get Judah, to get Jerusalem. So we read here in the chapter 13. In the 14 years of King Hezekiah, Sennacherib, king of Assyria, came down against all the fortified cities of Judah and kicked them. So the storm is coming. They first wipe out the surrounding cities. And Hezekiah, king of Judah, sent to the king of Assyria and the Lachish, saying, I have done wrong, withdraw from me. Whatever you impose me, I will bear. And the king of Syria required Hezekiah, king of Judah, 300 talents silver and 30 talents gold. So this is the first storm. Hezekiah tried to stop the storm by sending some money, some gold and silver to Assyria. Hope said, please, I give you the money, withdraw from us. But you think that will be just that easy? Not necessary. Because you got to know who is the king we deal with. King Sennacherib, king of Assyria. You better know this person. Right? He is very powerful. And that's, we find it on this called Sennacherib prison. Describe himself. He's boasting himself. Look at this. He said, Sennacherib, the great king, the mighty king, king of the world, king of Assyria, king of the four quarters and wise shepherd, fervent of the great gods, guardian of right. What a king. That is boasting. He is the king of the world. And indeed, he conquered lots of countries, lot of places. And he is very well known, he's very cool. That many cities know how he's going to deal with them, so they surrender before he conquered them. So this is the king Hezekiah facing. So let's look at the map. Assyria is on the northern part of current Iraq. And according now, we don't have this country now. But back then, it was very powerful. He can see how big the territory they have. And that's the peak. That's the strong moment of Assyria. So that's his kingdom. And the capital of Assyria is Nineveh. You should know this city. Is King Sennacherib. Sennacherib bring the capital to Nineveh, and he built up a beautiful city over there. So now he's going to conquer Jerusalem. But first he sent a messenger over, and then he shouted outside of city gate, and said that, thus said the great king, the king of Syria, oh, what do you rest trust of you? They're coming to terrify us, terrify the inhabitants of Jerusalem. Say, who do you trust? And be careful here is that the word of the king. Thus say the great king. And we will contrast, thus say the Lord. And if you look at chapter 18, it's a very interesting story. The first king and the messenger. So King Hezekiah also sent some messenger over to try to negotiate with them. And the first, this Hezekiah's officer said, please, can you speak just Aramaic? Don't speak the language of Judah, which is Hebrew. Why? It's very interesting. Back then, the official language is Aramaic. And that's very popular. And it's kind of a diplomatic language. So only those highly educated people will know. So the king, the Judah, Hezekiah's officer tried to just not to let the regular people got terrified. But the messenger of Sennacherib that said, no way, I'm going to speak your language. So he said, hear the word of the great king, the king of Syria. Thus say the great king, do not let Hezekiah deceive you, for he will not be able to deliver you out of my hand. Do not let Hezekiah make you trust in the Lord by saying, the Lord will surely deliver us, and the city will not be given into the hand of king of Assyria. So that's the challenge Hezekiah. The enemy coming to intimidate them. And I don't have time to look into every word. It's so interesting. You can see how they communicate with each other. And you think they'll be over? No. The storm is coming and coming again. So, second time, this time the king of Syria sent a messenger with a letter. Okay? With the letter just to ask Hezekiah to bow down again. They said, so he sent messenger again to Hezekiah, saying, thus should you speak to Hezekiah, king of Judah. Do not let your God in whom you trust deceive you by promising that Jerusalem will not be given into the hand of king of Assyria. So here again, in Old Testament time, when the country and people fighting, they're just fighting between them, it's fighting between their God. Okay? So you can see in the scripture here, they always say, who is the God of this Egypt? Who is the great God? So we can realize that which God we trust is really representing the battle between gods. And that is good thing. Because the battle belongs to God. If we trust God, then the battle is not ours. It's God. But the problem, the challenge is which God we trust and serve. We live in this storm time. Every day you hear all this briefing from president, governor, mayor, and the word actually, we should listen. How should we live? But also, do we listen to the word of God? Do we hear just all negative? And that Satan speak our native language. Here it says to speak the language of Judah. Satan know how to get us. So he will make the easiest way to get to us. You will have this experience that, especially when I first came to this country, Mandarin is my first language. So wherever I can hear the Mandarin, no matter how far away, boom, I'll pick it up. Wow, someone there, especially someone speak Taiwanese, I'll pick it up. Because that's my native language. So, Satan will get to us using our native language. We don't need to spend a lot of effort to just, we'll pick it up. Unfortunately, because we seldom hear Word of God, so Word of God become our second language. So we need to make a great effort to listen. So that is the nature of the storm. And the storm will come again and again. We know we are waiting here. We thought, hopefully tomorrow will be over. But no, this virus going to become a new normal, new normal life for us. So let us be ready. Let us know this is going to be a new normal. We don't try to just get out quickly. So we're going to learn from Hezekiah how he dealt with this, how he dealt with this storm. First, we should turn our trust to God and His words. Turn our trust to God and His words. When Hezekiah heard about this, what does he do? He said he went into the temple. All right. He went into the temple and he prayed. And he sent a messenger to Isaiah. That's why this story also recorded in the book of Isaiah. So you see that's very many different angles. And we know Isaiah is a very famous prophet. So he said to Isaiah, this is a day of distress, of rebuke, and of disgrace. Children have come to the point of birth, and there is no strength to bring them forth. Indeed, this is a day of distress. Isn't it? We live in this very challenging time. We cannot go out. People are suffering. People are even dying. This is a day of distress, of rebuke, and of disgrace. But he didn't stop there. Isaiah said to him, thus said the Lord, do not be afraid because of the word that you have heard, which with the servant of the king of Syria have reviled me. Behold, I will put a spirit in him so that he should hear a rumor and return to his own land, and I will make him fall by the sword in his own land. So how do we live in the midst of this pandemic? Who do you trust? Which word you listen? You listen to the king of Syria or the king of our God, Jehovah? And how do we listen? It's by reading the word of God. So this is very, very important that whenever we're facing the situation, whenever we're facing a challenge, you always need a choice. Who are you going to trust? Your own hand, your own word, or God? And actually, many people advise King Hezekiah, say, oh, we should find help from Egypt. We should find help to find them and to become an ally and to defeat Assyria. Yes, that's human nature. We're going to fight with our own hands. But Hezekiah said, no. He wants to trust God. He knows God can deliver him. And the second time when he received this letter from Assyrian, it's very, very interesting. I really love how the Bible describes this. Look at this. Hezekiah received a letter from the hand of a messenger and read it. Then Hezekiah went up to the house of the Lord and spread it before the Lord. That's what we should do. We should spread our burden. We should spread our challenge before the Lord. Too often we try to deal with ourselves. We want to hide ourselves. But God said, show it to me. Even God knows already. God knows what you are facing. But He's waiting for us to bow down before they present it to Him. That's the attitude we should have. Actually, just something for parents. Of course, parents want to help kids. They know the children's problem. But when the children present it to them, then they can act upon it. So God is waiting for us to come to His temple, bow down before Him, present, spread it out our problem to Him. Because that is the attitude of humanity. The attitude says, we cannot do it. God, help me. God is waiting for us to do it. And I praise God and thank you, but you still connecting. You still go onto the live stream to participate on this. That is the gesture of humanity. You're still thinking we still need God. Well, many people will think, great. Oh, I don't need to drive. I don't need to wake up early, go to church. Oh, I can take a break for all this time. That's what enemy want to get to us. Nobody going to see you at the church now. Nobody see you. Or even you log on to the room, you just turn on the video and then do whatever you want. Is that what you're going to pass around this time? Oh, we really know we are in trouble. We will come to the house of the Lord, present it. And I wish we can read this prayer together on chapter 19 of 2 Kings. This is a beautiful, beautiful prayer. But for time's sake, I will let you just read it out. But on another part of 2 Chronicles 37, this Hezekiah, after he received the encouragement from God, he also encouraged his people. That's what he said to the people in Jerusalem. He said, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or dismayed before the king of Syria and all the force that is with him. For there are more with us than with him. With him is an army of flesh. But with us is the Lord our God to help us and to fight our battles." And the people took confidence from the word of Hezekiah, king of Judah. That's what we can learn, especially fathers. You are the king and priest and prophet at home now. What type of word you encourage your family? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Even if you, some father you need to shut down your business. You lose your job. Yes, God knows that. But do not be afraid. Be strong and courageous. And then encourage our family members. Encourage your friend. Hezekiah here, he said, "For there are more with us than with him." Assyria sent a great multitude of armies surrounding Jerusalem. But they are not afraid because they see something beyond their physical eyes. They see in the spiritual eyes more. They are more with us. Brothers and sisters, that's the work God give it to you today. They are more. They're more with us than with him. Don't just look at the problem. Look at the word of God. Second, very interestingly, and this next two things are going about, you can verify with archaeology. King Hezekiah, he doesn't just stop there. Oh, we just whatever, just trust in the Lord. Pray. Yes, that's very crucial, very important. But he didn't stop there. He built up the walls. In 2 Chronicles 32:5 said, he set to work resolutely and built up the wall that was broken down and raised towers upon it, and outside it built another wall, and he strengthened the middle in the city of David. He also made weapons and shields in abundance. I really like this. Especially we are surrounded. We are isolated. We are sheltered at home. That doesn't mean we just do nothing. Hezekiah didn't stop there. He just didn't go every day just worship God, just read the Bible, about pray, and then say, "God, you take care of everything." No. He surrounding the Jerusalem, and he find out that's a broken wall, so he fixed it. And not only that, he built a second layer of wall, and so he fortified the city. Do you know where your house is broken? Do you know where is a broken wall in your home, in your life? This is the time God wants us to fix. So you got first to see where. This is map here. The yellow part is the city of David, In the north, there is temple. But the purple part, you see, that is the wall. That is the wall Hezekiah built. The brown part is the current wall. Okay, so this is very interesting. That and the red part, that's where they find out. Okay, if you go to Jerusalem, you can see this in the midst, because it's already the city expanded. It's already in the midst of the city, so there's house around it. But they find out, you see, the wall is so wide, and actually indeed they call it the Cold Wall, and it's very tall. And today, you can see that's Hezekiah's wall. And then without self-control, it's like a city broken into and left without walls. So Bible also does talk about war in our life. And we say, if our life without war, that anything can come in. In the King James Bible, so he has said that no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls. So you see, a rule on our spirit and another spirit with self-control. It's a war. And there's no greater time we need this self-control, isn't it? We can just wake up whatever. I know another just have an online class, but maybe you have online class, you just log in and just the teacher know, you log in and you just do your own thing. Or you can have a lot of free time now, you just do whatever you like. And that is a city without wall. We should put our heart to walk, not to walk from home, but to walk on our home. Too often we work from home or we study from home. Our heart is not there. And so the wall is still broken. But this is a time God wants to put our heart back so we can walk on our home, work on our life. Oftentimes we think about self-control. We think about its outside rule. Oh, I need to control myself. I need to control myself. Actually, when you look at the Bible, it's talk about the war, the self-control actually is the fruit of the Spirit. We even can think about love, joy, peace. Yeah, we cannot have that. Oh, I need to work on my self-control. Actually, every time when I teach the baptism class, when they talk about this, I always ask, hey, what do you think? Which one you most like? 90% of people say self-control. And actually, yeah, they include me too. But too often we think about this, it's like, I need to work on it myself. But if we know this is the fruit of Spirit, then we know this from reading. It's not an ornament on a Christmas tree. It's Holy Spirit enables us from reading. So if we know this, then we know how to produce self-control. And self-control is a rule, it's a guideline. Now we all know this. A lot of guidelines, government every day, and it keep updating, right? The guideline, COVID-19 guideline, you need to wash your hand. Now we need to wear a mask if you go to the public place. And even President talk about the guideline for opening up America again. So we are living these guidelines. So I don't like this rule, but if you don't follow it, you're gonna get sick. If you don't follow it, you're gonna get fined. But how about our own life, our own spiritual life? Not only spiritual life, in the home, do you have a guideline? Do you have a rule to guide you? And the rule here is not just like for the sake of following rule. If you know your goal, then you're going to live your life intentionally and do those rules to help you to get there. And I think that's what we should have. And, St. Benedict is very famous with his rule. Oftentimes we don't have a good image of monk. Oh, this monk, they just don't want to do anything, just escape from the society, just highly isolated themselves. Actually, when I read more about their life, it's really fascinating. The reason why they want to live that certain way because they see the problem of society. They see the problem in the church back then. So in order for them to really want to live a godly life, they know they could not live in the common setting. They need to withdraw themselves. So they found a monastery and then follow the new rule. St. Benedict is the one who his rule become the common rule for all the monks. And it's come very popular. I have a copy of that. Actually, it's very interesting. Maybe one day we should all visit a monastery and to learn about more. So the point is, we also need to have a rule and guideline to help us self-control in our lives, especially as we shelter at home. So, you have that. Hezekiah trusting God, and then he built a wall. Third, he protected the water source, and this is even more fascinating. And the 2 Kings 20, verse 20 said, the rest of the deed of Hezekiah and all the might and how he made the poor and the kindly, and brought water into the city. And they not written in the book here. He brought the water into the city. And 2 Chronicles also said, he prayed with his officer and his mighty men to stop the water of the springs that were outside the city, and that helped them. This is very famous, called Hezekiah's tunnel. Right? You see, that's 2-layer walls that already is very protected. But Hezekiah knows water is their lifeline. If a city without water, they're going to soon get surrendered. So in order to protect them from the siege, he built this tunnel. I call Hezekiah tunnel. And I'm going to let you watch a short video, and you can see how amazing this tunnel is. And before that, actually, 2 years ago, I went to Israel. I went through the tunnel. Okay, I walked through that. Okay, so let's watch this video.
And when Hezekiah saw that Sennacherib was coming, and that he was determined to fight against Jerusalem, he took counsel with his princes and his mighty men to stop the waters of the springs which were outside the city, and they did help him. So there gathered a large group of people together, and they stopped up all the springs in the brook that ran through the midst of the land, saying, why should the kings of Assyria come and find much water?
We are now at the Gihon Spring. It contains an enormous amount of water.
Prior to Hezekiah's rule, all this water flowed outside the city through irrigation channels to the fields of the people and to the king's gardens.
When he prepared Jerusalem for the Assyrian siege, Hezekiah worried that the mighty army of Assyria would camp outside the city walls, gaining access to the city's water source.
He decided to prevent their use of the water by blocking and sealing the springs outside the city, including the Gihon Spring. He diverted the spring's water into an underground tunnel which had been quarried into the heart of the mountain. 2 groups of masons worked towards each other from both sides and met in the middle of the tunnel. And the water flowed from the source to the pool. The tunnel ends at the pool of Siloam, which was inside the city, behind protective walls. The account of this engineering wonder is mentioned explicitly in the Bible and is also documented in the Shiloach inscription, which was discovered 6 meters from the end of the tunnel.
This is a copy of the inscription written in ancient Hebrew letters. It describes the dramatic moment when the 2 groups met inside the tunnel.
The masons were swinging their axes one towards the other, and they heard the voice of one man calling his fellow. And on the day of the tunneling, the masons bore through, one man towards his fellow, axe upon axe, and the water flowed from the source to the pool for 1,200 cubits.
Isn't it amazing? Well, one day you can also go to see the tunnel. You can walk through that. It's built 2,700 years ago. And you saw the video, how amazing how they build that. So what does that mean here? We all know Jesus is the living water, is the source of the water. If we now live in this situation, if we don't have a fresh water comes in, we really, with our spiritual life, we're going to wither. It's going to die. And this is so important. Our faith has been tested now. And that's why, in a way, I was so, my heart is very, very intense and urgent. Because this is a crucial moment. We're going to be even more very strongly in our faith, or we just going to face out. And that's why every day at 3 shifts, Monday to Friday, I try to do Bible study. I try to do daily walk with whoever wants to join. Because this is the time we need to protect the water source. If we don't have that, the enemy is going to just take over. It's going to block our water source. So may God's living water flowing from within from us. So that's how we can live through this. And we know the end, the amazing end. 2 Kings 19:35. And at night the angel of the Lord went out and struck down 185,000 in the camp of the Syrians. And when people arose early in the morning, behold, these were all dead bodies. Then Sennacherib, king of Assyria, departed and went home and lived at Nineveh. And as he was worshipping in the house of Nisroch, his god, and was killed. Look at this. Look at this. God can just one night send the angel and just wipe out our enemies. And so ironic that this king, Sennacherib, is boasting how great is his God, and then he was killed by his son when he was worshiping his God. It's God of the Lord, not us, to defeat the enemy. And unfortunately, our governor said, it's our behavior stop the spread of virus. God did not stop the spread of virus. So who are you going to listen? You're going to listen to the governors saying it's all our effort, or you're going to listen to the word of God. It's our God. We live in a very crucial moment. But before I'm going to show you even more interesting that let's dig out this called Sennacherib prison. And that talk about this. And this is the king of Sennacherib. He's boasting about his achievement. So that's what it says about Hezekiah. As for Hezekiah, the Jews who did not submit to my yoke, 46 of his strong walled cities, as well as a small town in their area which were without number, by laboring with battering ram and by bringing up the siege engine and by attacking and storming on foot by my tunnel, I besieged them and took them. Okay? He wiped out all the surrounding cities. But when you talk about Jerusalem, himself like a caged bird, I shut up in Jerusalem. He didn't mention he took over Jerusalem. And he just still trying to boast that I locked it in the cage like birds. And that truth, he didn't take over Jerusalem. This is so amazing phenomenon you can see in the history. And today, again, we live in a historical moment like this? Would we live like Hezekiah, or we live like the rest of the people? We just submit, bow down to King Sennacherib. And I truly pray and pray that at least we as Harvest Church, we can come up strong. We'll come up strong with this. And take this time. We put our trust in God and in His Word. And we build up the wall, fix the brokenness in our home, and protect the water source. And God will entrust us with greater work. Enemy try to use this, try to wipe out the church, especially. You know, on Easter Sunday, the mayor of Louisville purposely want to shut down the drive-in worship of the church. People argue, said, well, yeah, you should get together, but there's a drive-in. But this mayor can allow people to drive in to the liquor store, can drive in to buy things, but not church. Many cities, many governors specifically target the church. No doubt we need to follow the guideline, have social distance. But we also need to know the gathering storm is on us. It's on church. And we are in this crucial moment. Our generation after us, we're going to see how we live through this. Will they see the wall? Will they see the tunnel? If we just let it by and they just get over, nothing left. But think of Hezekiah. He built a tunnel. He built up a city. So people can still see what he has done during the time. May God help us. What we're going to leave behind for our future generation. How are they going to see, hey, Father, hey, grandfather, how do you live through the time? This is a crucial moment for us. May we follow the footsteps of Hezekiah and see God's help. Let's pray. Father God, we come to you, Lord. We know we live in a very challenging time. The virus, just like the army of Assyria, surrounding us. But Lord, help us to put our heart to trust you, to trust in your word, and help us to see what's broken inside of our life, our family. And we know how to build it up, or how to fix it. And that's connect to the living water, connect to the source. So every day we can have fresh water to reach our life. We thank you, Lord. Now may the grace of Lord Jesus Christ, the love of God, and fellowship of Holy Spirit be with us from now until forever. Amen. See you again. Hope we can soon and worship together at the church. But until then, God bless you and continue to do the Word of God.